You're listening to Shore Solutions, the podcast, where our expert consulting team steps behind the mic to share some of the strategies and solutions we implement for aesthetic practices nationwide. With decades of combined experience running and coaching aesthetic and medical practices, we bring you the guidance that strengthens operations, elevates profitability, and supports long-term growth. This is where solutions begin. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Shore Solutions, the podcast. My name is Paige Hamilton. I'm the Marketing and Advertising Manager here at Shore Solutions. And today we've got a great episode for you about skincare and why your patients might not be purchasing it from you and your practice. So today, joining me in this conversation, I have Cristian Devoz, who is one of our partners and a Senior Client Success Manager.
Thank you, Paige. I'm excited to jump into this conversation with you. It's going to be a great episode.
Yes. So I do want to make a disclaimer that we're not going to be talking about specific skincare products and the benefits of specific products themselves, but rather we're going to come from the practice aspect of it, more of the management side, how you should be going about selling skincare in your practice, how to train your team, because many aesthetic practices invest heavily in attracting patients, but skincare is one of those things that help you increase revenue, strengthen patient loyalty, and improve the treatment outcomes that the patients are coming to you to achieve. So patients are already buying skincare. Almost everyone uses skincare, and there's some exceptions, sure, but almost all patients are already buying skincare. The question is whether they're buying it from you because they know you sell it and you sell a good product, or whether they're purchasing it from Amazon or Sephora or Target or whatever other retailer that they might be getting it from. Or even another provider, if they're coming to you for one thing and maybe they're seeing someone else who also offers skincare, maybe that other provider is taking that patient from you. So if you have a skincare line in your practice, we're going to talk about the importance of selling and how you should be doing it. So first of all, we want to focus on why you should sell skincare in your practice.
Why not? That's my answer. Why not? Why not have that extra revenue? Why not have that extra product line that is going to allow you to make additional monies and is going to allow you to grow your practice? So that's number one. Number two, if you're not doing it, someone else is going to do it for you, and you're going to lose those opportunities to retain those patients and also to allow them to get the best results. And we all know that if you want to have a great result, what you do at home after you get that procedure or that treatment matters a lot. The patient needs to follow a regime. They need to follow, make it a habit to use these skincare products so they can maintain those results, and it's going to allow them to get the best results possible. So making sure that you sell that product to your patients is going to be very crucial, both for you financially and also for the patient to get the best results.
Yeah, so let's talk about some of those financial benefits, because we mentioned it in a lot of episodes that you should be selling skincare, and maybe we touch on it a little bit, but this episode is going to be going a little bit more in depth so you have that reasoning and understanding. So one of the financial benefits is that it has a really good profit margin. So you can sell skincare and you have a really good return for your profit and your revenue coming in. And it also is just there. It's not a service that has to be booked. It doesn't have to be on your schedule. So it's not necessarily taking up time from your providers, besides the time of having the conversation and actually explaining the benefits, because your patients are going to be coming back from that too. So they're going to, maybe they don't come to you every 3 months, but they need skincare every 3 months. Every 3 months, that patient's coming back to get your skincare, whether that's actually physically coming to your practice to pick it up, or if that's online ordering and it auto ships to their house. That's a great feature as well. And you just have a pretty little box with your logo all over it sitting at their front doorstep. So
right.
A lot of financial benefits to that. And I feel like I'm probably the perfect target audience to be having this conversation too, because Right now, I use skincare from Sephora, and I don't use medical grade skincare or skincare from a provider. So if someone were to come to me and to explain the benefits, I might be an easy
You
switch.
might switch. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And you know what, Paige? It's such a missed opportunity in so many practices. Not only whether they are doing it or not, because many of them are doing that, doing the skincare. They're selling skincare products, but they are not necessarily actively selling it. And that
Mhm.
is the missed opportunity. Just having it there, being portrayed, in some shelves, it's not gonna get you any more money. You have
Mhm.
to get your team on board and make sure that everybody is selling it. And the way that you sell it without sounding salesy is gonna have a lot to do with how you communicate with that patient during the consult, even on the phone, and making sure that they know that it is a holistic approach, right? You're letting the patient know what we do here is important, but what you do at home to maintain those results really matters. It's similar to when somebody goes to the gym, right? What's the first thing the trainer tells you? 70 or 80% of the work is actually at home when you eat. It's not when you're training. Training is just stimulating your muscles to produce that hypertrophy, right? To start growing. But the actual, you know, strengthening process or rebuilding of those muscles happens when you're getting enough nutrients, so your food, and then getting enough rest so that your body recovers. The same thing with skincare. You can tell the patient, even use that same example. How do you maintain those results? You got to have your skincare routine and making sure that you make it a holistic approach so the patient knows it's all part of the treatment. It's not, separate from getting that treatment with you.
Mhm. And I think it applies to, I want to make sure we're kind of talking to all of our audiences here that might be listening. So, no matter what practice type you have, you should be recommending skincare. I would say dermatologist, especially number one. That one's kind of obvious. The whole practice deals with the skin. So, you want to make sure that you have all of the different products. But like Christian was saying, to pair it with a treatment as well. So if you're in surgery and you're doing plastic surgery on someone's face and there's going to be a scar, you want to be able to tell them, hey, this product will help minimize the appearance of the scar, or even to give them a skincare regimen beforehand so that their skin is in the healthy enough condition to be able to heal properly after surgery. So there's all of the different aspects, especially if you're a med spa. Someone's going to trust you to get all of their skincare from you. And most likely, too, I think one of the other whys is why you should sell it is because most likely they're going to want all of the products. I
Mhm.
wouldn't just come to my dermatologist just for just my sunscreen or just my face wash. Like I'm loading up. I'm going to get my sunscreen, my moisturizers, my serums, all of it. I'm just going to get all of it at the same place in a little bundle that I know that this is the step 1, 2, 3, 4 that I'm going to follow, and my skin's going to look pretty afterwards. So
Mhm.
I think that's another like financial benefit. It adds credibility to you that you're offering these products, that you're going to get these really good treatment results. So I think that pretty much encompasses the why you should be doing it. And Christian touched on a really good point is how you should be doing it. So let's talk about how practices should be recommending skincare.
Yeah, that's such a great question, Paige. The how is always what really matters when you're selling. It's not so much selling or why you should do it or what you should sell, but it's how you do it. And number one, you gotta prescribe, don't sell. So make sure that you prescribe it as part of the treatment that they're getting. So if they're getting a facial, if they're getting, Botox, filler, whatever it might be, you can always prescribe it as a way to, get the best results beforehand, as Paige was saying, to prepare the skin to make it healthy before the treatment and also post treatment so that they continue to take care of it. Now, make sure that you recommend solutions to reach their goals. So you let them see, this is what you want to achieve on your face or on your skin. This is how we're going to do it. This is the products that we're going to use. This is the regimen we're going to follow. You're going to use it twice a day. This is what you're going to do during the day. This is what you're going to do during the night. And you explain very clearly how to use it, why they need to use it, And in that way, it doesn't feel so much that you're selling as much as you are educating the patient, letting them know, this is something that is important to get the best results, right? So make it a conversation. That's very important, and do it in every single consult. Don't make it feel like it's coming out of nowhere. It has to be part of the conversation, and it has to feel like when you're talking to your besties, right? You're talking to your best friend, and you start talking, hey, by the way, I'm using this new product, that I was recommended to, and I love it. And I am seeing my skin glowing, and it looks beautiful, and I feel like it's so healthy now. And you talk about it as a conversation, like a friend talks to another friend. That's very, very important in a patient doctor patient provider relationship. You have to have an actual close relationship with that person, and stop seeing the patient as a number or as just somebody that you treat to get the money. You got to see that person as a human being who has goals and aspirations, who has, a family, who has, basically everything that we all go through, right? So if you're able to connect with that patient to that level of trust, they're going to follow your recommendations because they trust you and they know that you only care for their best.
I think this might be a good time we can do a role play. So a bad example of Christian of what you kind of just said would be if I'm the provider and you're the patient, and we're in the middle of the consult, we're going over things, and I
Yeah.
just ask you, "Oh, Christian, by the way, what skincare are you using?"
Oh man, I don't use any skincare.
Okay, well, I just wanted to let you know that we offer X, Y, and Z skincare, and it's going to be this much, and I think that it would work for you. It's at the counter, it's available, and we can get you checked out so that way you can actually start using some skincare. And, that would be a bad example, is you're kind of just
Yeah, I
selling.
feel like you're selling me right now. Yeah, it's
Right. So a
yeah.
different example would be as if he said, "Oh, I'm not using any skincare." Then I would then want to turn around and be
Yeah,
like,
let's role play that again. So, hey, Paige, I'm not using any skincare. Instead of asking me what skincare products are you using at home, you could ask
Mhm.
me, hey, Christian, can I ask you what you're doing right now to take care of your skin at home?
Mhm.
I'm not really doing much. I'm doing sunscreen, but not every day. And I don't have any type of skincare products per se. And then at that point, you can transition and say, oh, well, that's very interesting because,
Mhm.
to get the best results, and I usually
Yeah.
recommend this as part of my holistic approach, is you gotta
Mhm.
use some skincare products to
Mhm.
make sure that
Your
you prepare your
goal to get
yeah,
glassy, shiny skin,
right,
if you
exactly. So
if you want the glassy skin that everyone wants to achieve, you need to make sure you have some moisturizer, and you need to have, make sure you are using your sunscreen every day. And, if however you want to work that into the conversation, but there's definitely a better approach to, like Christian was saying, make it a conversation, talk about what their goals are, present them with, hey, if this is what you eventually want to achieve, in combination with this other procedure that we're talking about or other treatment that we're talking about, you also need to make sure you're doing this as well. Otherwise, you might not be as happy with your results. And then you also, I feel like, want to bring that up because if they're not happy with their results because something that they're lacking, they might
mhm,
not know, oh, I should have been doing this skincare routine. And then they're going to think, oh, well, my provider was just really bad. And then they,
right.
like they might not be happy with their results as something that they were lacking, not something on your part, but they don't know that. So then they might say, nope, that my results were terrible. The facial did nothing. I see no change. I wouldn't go to them at all. So then they've left a bad review. They're not promoting you to their friends, and you've lost that patient.
Well, that's the worst case scenario, Paige.
Well, that is the worst case scenario, but we were also doing bad role play. So
No, but to be honest with you, I mean, it's all in the how you bring it up, right? And making sure that it transitions smoothly in the conversation. But I wouldn't necessarily say you can get it at the checkout. You can say, as part of your treatment, I would recommend or I would prescribe some skincare products that I have seen, are the most effective for this specific procedure that you want to get or this specific result that you want to get. And we provide it right here. So if you would like to get it as part of your consult, you can get it at the checkout
Mhm.
with the director of first impressions. So making sure that you word it in such a way that doesn't feel like you're selling, but it's just part of the prescription of how to get those results, right? And then of course you want to follow up. So the next time that they come to that visit, to their next appointment, when I bring it up, hey, by the way, Paige, how are you doing with the skincare product that you have been using, that you got from us? Oh, well, I have been using it. I have noticed improvements in my skin, and I thank you very much because I have seen the results or whatever it might be. So you want to make sure you follow up with that patient and ask them, because that also helps continue the conversation. Because if they say, well, I did notice some redness or I did notice this or that, then you can say, well, it seems like we might need to adjust your prescription. So I'm going to recommend this other skincare line or this other product. And then you can sell them on that other product. But yeah, definitely making sure that you approach it in a way that doesn't feel pushy or that you're trying to sell, but it's just part of that prescription.
I would also say following up with them at the front desk as well. We like to recommend that, you walk your patient to the front desk. Like they're not just wandering your practice, figuring things out on their own. So if you are writing them this as a prescription, one time with Nan, I was working on a project for one of our other clients, and she suggested that we actually have a card that is branded for the practice as like kind of a prescription pad style card, but it was a little bit more fun than just like a regular prescription pad. And it was for this exact situation where they could write down, hey, this is the type of skincare, this is the product that I'm recommending. You send that with the patient or you hand it to the front desk while you're up there. So that way, the conversation that you had in the room is not over now. Now you have someone else reapproaching the subject. Maybe there was a lot of other things you were thinking about. Maybe you were talking about surgery, and now in their head, all of they're thinking about is, do I want to do this surgery? Is it something I'm going to book right now? This is a really big decision. So maybe something else is weighing on them. They're not thinking about the skincare conversation that you had necessarily when they're going up to the front desk. So having that refresh and following up even right there, and then having the pretty little card with the prescription on it that says, hey, this is what we're recommending. It serves as a reminder there as well.
Right. And then, of course, making sure that your team is actually trained so that they know that they need to bring that up as well during that checkout process. So, "Oh, hey, I see that the doctor recommended or that the provider recommended that we get you this and this skincare. That's such a great product, and I have used it myself, and I have seen great results on it, or I have many patients who have been using it and they love it, or just something like that that is going to continue to encourage that patient or get them excited to use it. And then, of course, train your team so that they are always trying to upsell in a way that feels natural, once again. And many times there is a lot of education involved. Some patients don't know what some products do versus another. So making sure that you train your team to understand and use how to explain the use of the skincare in a professional way, but then also making sure that they are consistent with how and what you recommend so that they speak from the same hymn book and they can actually say the same things that you would say in a consult.
And that's a great point because that ties back into why patients are buying their skincare elsewhere. Like you just said, if there's a very big disconnect and your staff isn't selling your skincare, patients aren't buying your skincare. If it's not being sold, it's not being bought. So, as much as we don't want to have that salesy conversation, you're also selling. So, there has to be some sort of salesy conversation, but in the nice way that we were talking about before. You don't want to just say, hey, are you buying this today or not? But as Christian said, have the team buy into it, have the team try out the products. I'm more likely to, if I'm hesitant about buying skincare from someone, if someone comes up to me and they have beautiful skin and they tell me, oh, yeah, I use all of our products, I love them. Okay, well, if my skin can look like yours, that's a really big selling factor as well. So, something else that you can do apart from training your team and making sure that they're educated on the products, because that is very important, but also maybe allowing the team to benefit from the sales as well and figuring out some sort of compensation for them. You sell this much from this amount to this amount, you're going to be compensated. You're going to get this much of a commission. And that, motivates the staff to be able to sell things, and they're going to want to promote it versus it's just gathering dust on the shelf and they have no motivation to sell it. I mean, that's horrible to kind of say because you want to trust your staff to still be doing things. But, you know, a lot of times if it's just sitting there and they're not educated about it or there's no motive for them to sell it, they might not. So it just
Right.
depends on how your staff is, and you kind of should know what would motivate them and what would encourage them to sell the products as well.
Show me the money. That's if you want people to be motivated, show them the money. They have to have a compensation model. I will say that having a team bonus that is based on the total number of sales for skincare products, and you base it on a percentage. And of course, if you want to learn more about how to put that together, we do have an episode where we talk about compensation structures and how to put it together, and you can watch that. I don't remember what number it was, Paige. You have to help me with that one, but it's somewhere out there. It was not that far
Well, we'll put it
ago,
on the
right?
screen somewhere.
Okay, so you can watch that episode that is on the screen where we talk about how to create that compensation model, right? And making sure that you do it in a way that makes sense for your own business, for your own finances. But as a key rule of thumb, you should be selling your skincare at a markup of 100%. So if it costs you $1, you sell it for $2. That means that you get a 50% margin net profit. It costs you $1 and you got $1 back. So you got, that 50% margin, but it's 100% markup. So that's very important to keep in mind so that you can always get that 50% net profit from that sale. And then of course you can now split that and you can maybe give your team 10% out of that, 50%. So that can motivate them and that can help them want to actually sell it. So having that sort of a structure might help. Sometimes we have seen people do a flat rate. So they get this number of dollars for each number of products that they sell. And you can structure in so many different ways. But the main thing is have some structure and make sure that you compensate them for their efforts so that they feel motivated to do it. And just make sure that they also have that understanding of how to sell, train them properly, and then of course have a way to track their sales so that then you can show them how they're doing, how close they are to meeting those goals. And then of course once they meet the goal, you can do the commission, you can get the bonus, and you can even do some extra incentives if you want them to do like a team party or a team pizza, whatever it might be, to get them also excited, something that will help them get to that next level, right? So not only giving them that 10% or whatever number you decide to give them on the commission, but also just letting them know, if we achieve this specific goal, we're going to do this for the team, whatever it might be, something additional that will get them motivated to reach that specific goal.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's great. I also want to touch on marketing aspect as well. So I think we've covered a lot as to why you should sell it, how you should sell it, how to get your team on board. And now to finish it off, let's talk about the marketing. So it's great for your marketing, especially if you have a private label skincare where your patients see your branding, your logo on your products, that they know it's coming from you, they trust you, they're going to trust your products. And that keeps your branding, your product in front of them. They're going to go home, they're going to wake up in the morning, they're going to be doing their skincare routine, putting on their moisturizer. As they're opening the product, they're going to see that their label says Dr. So-and-so. And they're going to remember, oh yeah, this is my doctor. And then when they're running out of their product, oh, I haven't been there in a while. Like maybe I need to follow up. Maybe I need to get another appointment. Or just the fact that your name is in their mind daily. Maybe twice a day, depending on what products they use in the morning versus at night. But that is a great way to keep your brand front of mind for your patients. And especially because, women like to talk about the products they use with their friends. Or if they're going on a trip, maybe the girls' trip, and all your products are on the counter, and they're going to ask their friend, oh, what are you using? And they're going to see oh, it's this private label skincare that I get from my doctor. So then now they're going to be maybe interested and wanted to go check out your product. So It's better than having maybe just like the generic skincare that you can get and purchase, though that's still really great. You're still doing everything that we talked about, improving the results, adding more credibility and trust to your recommendations that you're giving your patients. But it's still a good option to have either one, but we always do like the private label skincare just because it adds that extra elevated level to your practice. And then the next thing I would say about your marketing is make sure you're actually promoting your products. Skincare is great to do in bundles that you're adding on. It's great added value. So maybe you want to run a promotion rather than just saying, oh, 10% off your skincare, 20% off your skincare. Maybe say with this treatment that you're going to get, you'll get a little free skincare package. That is a way that you can use one of your products as like an extra added value. So use that as a bonus for your marketing, that it's like a complimentary add-on. It's extra value that you're getting. And then make sure you promote that everywhere. Put it on your website, put it on your social media, send out your emails, and then send out your emails. Make sure that every few months, if you have a patient and you know that they bought their first product in January, make sure you follow up with them based on the size of the product, when that should be running out, based on how many usages it has. Make sure you're sending them a couple emails or texts specifically to them that say, hey, we know this is the last time you bought your skincare. We think you're running out. Do you want us to ship some to you? Do you need the link to purchase it? Do you need to come in to purchase it? Just as like a reminder. So make sure you're doing all of your marketing efforts to also promote and sell your skincare as well.
I love that. Absolutely. You cannot sell what you don't promote. And that's basically it. You got to do your marketing, get the word out, get the people to talk about it, your team, yourself, in the consult. And then, of course, how you do it, making sure that it's always friendly, always conversational. And then, of course, finally, you want to make sure that you follow up with them. Hey, how is the skincare doing? And you continue that process, and it goes back and forth. And you ask them who they might know, who might also benefit from this product, and get those referrals in. And at the end of the day, once again, there's such a missed opportunity out there. Don't be one of those that misses this opportunity. Get the skincare selling, make your money, and then be successful with it. Because I'm sure that if you do the things that we mentioned, you will be able to see improvements in your sales, and your team will be able to also benefit by it.
Yeah, so with that, I think this is a great spot to end the episode. We hope you learned a lot. Thanks for listening to this episode of Shore Solutions, the podcast. Before you go, new episodes are released every 2 weeks, offering perspective on the decisions, systems, and leadership behind well-run practices. For continued insight between episodes, follow us on social media at Shore Solutions. This is Shore Solutions, the podcast.